You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments below, and be sure to smash that like button. The Major League Baseball draft starts on Sunday, and when the two-day draft ends, we will have a much clearer picture of what the LSU baseball roster will look like for 2026. There are certain things that are a given. Cade Anderson's probably going to be the number one pick in the draft, but either way, he's going to sign a pro contract and he'll be gone. Anthony Ianson will be a late first, early second round pick. Bear Jones is probably a fourth, fifth round pick, and he's going to sign. Some of these, Daniel Dickinson will certainly sign. He'll be gone. Jacob Meyer, some of these we know. A lot of the real questions, though, come into play when we start talking about the high school signees. And this is always the interesting question because all of these guys, like if you are being recruited by LSU, you are a draft, just by correlation, you are a draftable prospect out of high school. So it comes down to, all right, well, what do you value? Do you want the college experience, whatever NIL rev share you're going to get, the opportunity to avoid long bus rides as an 18-year-old staying in crappy motels in minor league cities, to fly private and play in front of 10,000 people, all the things we talk about. But it really comes down to guys who have their number and do they stick to it. What's it going to take for you not to show up at LSU or whatever college campus you've signed with and instead sign a pro contract? So it comes down to guys if they get that number during that draft process. So I've done this for the past handful of years, and it's always a pretty popular segment. I think a lot of people appreciate the information because, quite honestly, the recruiting information for baseball just isn't as plentiful as it is for football. Like there's no on three for baseball. I mean, you've got Perfect Game, which does a really good job of managing a lot of the prospects and their all their measurables, their combine numbers and everything like that. But it's not like the recruiting process that's so public for high-level football players from the time. Look at Elijah Haven, who just finished his freshman year of high school. He's a sophomore year now, and he's already like blowing up after being a freshman. So it's you sometimes have to dig to find information on these guys. So I figured I've done this past couple of years. I've tapped into a lot of my resources, Major League scouts that look at these guys. I mean, keep in mind, like right now, you may not know this, but the Perfect Game National showcase is going on in Arizona right now at the Big League Park in Arizona. And it's a multi-day event. It's invite only. It's like the top 300 prospects in the country. And it's just littered with scouts and college coaches. And it's where all the best players come. And they go through all the combine numbers and drills. And that's how they're seen. And so you share a lot of information that way. And that's for the 2026 class, by the way. So I do my best during these weeks leading up to the draft to get as much information as I can on these guys, what people generally know about what their number is, how they're leaning, what they're thinking. Will they end up on campus? Will they not? So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 12 LSU signees that throughout this draft process are going to have a decision to make. Now, the good news for LSU is, with the best information I have, of the 12, only 3 are virtual locks to sign pro contracts. So you got a 50-50 shot or better of getting 9 of these 12. And that doesn't even count the guys who are part of this class that are certainly going to show up on campus. I'll run through first the 3 that are almost certainly going to sign pro contracts. We'll start with Quentin Young. So Quentin Young is a legacy. Both of his uncles had long Major League Baseball career. He is going to go somewhere in the top 35 picks of this draft. Quentin Young is a 6'5", 215-pounder. He plays infield, might project to the outfield at the next level. But he is a true, legit, elite-level prospect who will be gone in the top 30, 35 picks of this draft. I mean, there is a less than 10% chance that he ends up on campus. Expect Quentin Young to be gone. I asked Muse for a little swipe between them. Brady Ebel is next. Brady Ebel, another shortstop out of Rancho Cucamonga, California. He is 6'3", 190 pounds. He bats left, throws right. Naturally, he's a shortstop. Throws right. His dad is the third base coach for the Dodgers. He's a legit big-time bat, but here's the challenge. Even though his dad is the third base coach for the Dodgers, this is a kid from California who, while he may not be a first-round projection, which he's not, it's not a situation where you grow up loving LSU when you're growing up in California, where it's like you're set to your $2 million number, whatever the case is, or you're going to go play for LSU because you love the Tigers. Now, he's committed to LSU, but this is a guy that's probably, as I'm told, a 60-40 lean to sign a pro deal. You're not expecting Brady Ebel to end up on LSU's campus. It would be a big surprise if you get him. And the third that you're not expecting is Jaden Foskey. So he is a 6'3", 210-pound shortstop out of Illinois, Willowbrook, Illinois. Left-handed bat. And he's probably, while he plays shortstop in high school, he probably projects as an outfielder, can really run. But again, that's one of those where it's a 10% shot that he ends up on campus. So Young, Ebel, Foskey, expect those three to sign pro contracts. You're not expecting those three to show up on campus. The other 9 that are up in the air, you got a really good shot. Briggs McKenzie, he is a left-handed pitcher, 6'2", 185. He's out of North Carolina. He's 50-50. He's got funky mechanics, as I'm told, but the reason he maybe doesn't project highly from MLB scouts is that he probably tops out as an effective reliever. And when big league teams are looking to draft high school pitchers, they are looking for starters, not relievers. He's a guy that I'm told could step up on LSU's campus day one and be an effective reliever with some role out of the bullpen. But those guys don't typically go at the top of the draft coming out of high school. So Briggs McKenzie, 50-50, but very well could end up on campus. Dean Moss is another one of those guys that's 50-50. He's a 6-foot, 182-pound outfielder out of California. He's got really good tools. He does everything really well. The comp I was given for Dean Moss is Daniel Cabrera. And remember, Daniel Cabrera had a really solid LSU career. Can just do everything really, really well. But Dean Moss, another 50-50 guy who likely ends up on LSU's campus. Landon Hoge, they are fully expecting that he will end up as an LSU Tiger. He plays catcher, second, and in the outfield. Got a really good arm. And the interesting thing here is teams generally aren't interested in high school catchers. It's not that it's completely unheard of, but you don't typically see high school catchers at the top of the draft. So it's one of those things where because of the position he plays, he very likely does end up on campus. Again, that's Landon Hodge, 6'2", 195, also out of California. Interesting how many prospects Jay keeps getting out of the state of California. Obviously, his ties to the West Coast, but it's another thing. Miguel Sime, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Forgive me. Sime, 6'4", 235. He's a righty out of Queens, New York. This is, as I was told, the best right-handed arm from high school in the draft. He's the best right-handed high school arm in the draft. He is up to 101 with his fastball. The problem has been command. And with that, he is again, a high school reliever. You're not going to see high school relievers, go at the top of the draft. So if this is a guy that's not going to be a round 1 or 2 guy, what's his number? Does he end up on campus? By the way, these guys are already enrolled. So, I mean, they're enrolled for summer, and they're already on campus getting a taste of it right now, which does benefit LSU. But he's a 50-50 for LSU. Omar Cerna, we talked about him already. The catcher, who's already said that he is withdrawing his name from the draft. He will not sign. He's out of the Houston area in Pearland. He will be an LSU Tiger. William Patrick, another one who's already enrolled. 70% chance he ends up at LSU. William Patrick is a 6'2", 200-pound outfielder out of Monroe. He is one of the best athletes in the draft. I was told he's a better athlete than Jake Brown, who's the best athlete on LSU's team. 6'2", 215. His combine numbers were off the charts. The problem with William Patrick is that his swing is going to take a little time. He has good power, but it's a long swing. It's got to get shorter, more compact, and that's something that will take time. And when it does, you're talking about a guy that will project in the top of round 1 if the swing comes around. But William Patrick, again, a guy that very likely does end up on LSU's campus out of Monroe. River Hamilton, I'm hoping he ends up on campus just so we can talk to Sharif about him. That'd be fantastic. 6'3", 185. He's out of Wood Village, Oregon. You know any LSU baseball prospects from Oregon in the past? You got any views from Oregon? Not that I remember.
Not from the high school ranks. No. Yeah, no.
Anyway, River Hamilton, he's had injury problems, which has derailed a little bit of his senior year, which probably means he ends up at LSU. Before this season started, it was thought that River Hamilton was going to be an MLB signee. But this happens, man. This happened to Alex Bregman. This happened last year with Cade Arambidi. Guys have injuries. They struggle a little bit in their senior season. Their draft stock dips. If they stay true to their number, they end up on campus. That's likely to happen here with River Hamilton. The other two guys, Mason Braun is one that we're going to be keeping an eye on. Mason Braun is a 6-foot, 195-pounder out of South Bend, Indiana. Good on you, Jay Johnson, going up to South Bend to steal a prospect out of there. 80% chance he ends up at LSU. He does not have a scouting profile. Like big league scouts do not look at Braun, who's a 6-foot, 195-pound first baseman, as a guy with a scouting profile right now. So he likely ends up on campus. And lastly is Reagan Ricken, another one that I'm really hoping. I mean, like I don't want to get Sharif's rating just yet because it feels a bit premature. But Reagan Ricken feels pretty good, yeah?
That's strong, yeah. I mean, I think it is at least.
It's not one of Sharif's criteria is that it has to be a unique first name. And you hear the name Reagan from time to time.
You do.
But the alliteration with Reagan Ricken.
That's so good.
Reagan Ricken.
I really want it to be Rickens, but it's not. It's Ricken.
It's Ricken. Reagan Ricken is actually better. They both end with N. Start with R.
That's
end with
true.
N. The alliteration's better. So Reagan Ricken, he is a 6'5", 220-pound pitcher out of Temecula. Again, another 70% chance that he ends up at LSU. So to recap, the three names that almost certainly are going to sign, everybody else, by the way, will end up at LSU. The three names likely to sign are Quentin Young, Brady Ebel, Jaden Fausk. Those are the three you're expecting are going to be drafted early and sign. Briggs McKenzie, Dean Moss, Miguel Sime, those are the three that are kind of 50-50 guys you'll be holding your breath on. But everybody else, it's overwhelmingly likely that they end up at LSU. So Jay Johnson and his staff could get really lucky keeping this number one ranked signing class together. And by the way, I talked to someone today who was in Arizona for the Perfect Game National, and he said the 2026 class at LSU blows the 2025 class out the water. So, Jay Johnson, his relentless efforts in recruiting do not go unnoticed, as we all are well aware. But the next crop, we'll find out which ones are going to be Tigers by likely many of them by this week. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.